When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
Hi guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome back to the channel if you're not. So we've still got this Helix, but now it's Block War. So we're kind of seeing how the Helix compares to other kind of kids on the block, really. So couldn't get hold of an Axe FX, though we tried. We did manage to get hold of a Kemper, so thanks Mike for that. So what we are doing is we're just going to run through all of the sounds of certain amps, basically a low gain or a clean amp, a crunch amp, and then a high gain amp. So it's kind of like a Fender clean, so the twin. Then for the distortion it's a JCM 800, for the crunch, sorry, and then for the high gain it's a 5150. And what I've done is basically just ran one out of the Kemper. Now with the Kemper, the versions I've got of those amps are really high quality profiles. So they are pro studio setup, mic'd in a room, everything separate and all the audio done separately. And that's it, and the effects that are built in. The Helix, however, is just the stock patches with a little bit of tweaking just to get them where I approximate them to be in relation to the Kemper. It's not me saying one is better than the other. This is down to you guys, really. This is just a battle between the pair of them because they both do completely different things. The Kemper profiles, the Helix doesn't. The Helix has everything built in: the floorboard, the lighting rig, the scribble strips, the interface, the editor, whereas the Kemper doesn't have that. So the different products for different people, really, that can both be used in everyone else's camp. So this is just getting them together, really. I'm not biased to anything. I think both products are absolutely amazing. So I'm a guitar geek, so I like everything. For me, the Helix works better for me because the version I had of the Kemper is just a rack mount, whereas the Helix is a do-it-all for me, and it's as you'll hear, it's pretty close, if not better. But that's down to you guys. Remember, this is not this is not my opinion. This is just me putting them both together because they're both boss. Right, so we'll start off with a clean example on the Kemper and then a clean example on the Helix, and it'll always run like that: Kemper first, Helix second. Don't know why, it's just the way I've recorded it, so I'm just going to put it up like that. So here we go with the clean example.
Round one, fight!
So here we go, guys, just a cold boot, and see how fast we can get this on. So here we go. There it is. So under 30 seconds. Not bad at all. So let's see how the Kemper deals with that. So now it's the Kemper's turn. Let's see how it deals with the situation. So we're going to go straight to browser. And there we have it. So between the pair of them, it's about twice as long for the Kemper. So next test. Right, so what did you think of that? Because in my studio and with my gear, I couldn't hear the difference. What I did notice was the Kemper had in the preset had an EQ in the first set of effects blocks that was cutting the top end and accentuating the bottom end. And I think the Kemper does that a lot. It kind of emulates in a high mid and like a high mid low treble kind of EQ. Doesn't matter because it works. Right, so that was that one. So let's hear the crunch presets and see how we get on with those JCM 800s.
Round 2, fight!
Right, so what do you think of that one? I think the Kemper kind of has it a little bit on that one. Just seems to be a bit more thumpier. But, as I've said before, I'm running the cab, Ampan cabs in the Helix. I haven't. There's no impulse responses in there that I've preloaded. I haven't really give it any tweaking. I've just got an approximation because I wanted it to be fair. Another thing I've noticed is the Kemper's on the right track. It's definitely better than the Axe-Fx for kind of ease of use, but it's still nowhere near as easy as the Helix is to use. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Right, and finally, let's go for the 5150 and see how the metal works on both of these things. Both of them are mint. Both of them are mint. What I found as well while I was editing this is if I put both of them on top of each other, it was epic. It's just truly epic. But again, guys, what do you think? Because this is, let's face it, it's YouTube and it's subjective. And some guys, do you know what I mean, favourite flavour in the world is another guy's Marmite. That's like beef puree, if you don't know what that is. It's minging. So they were all of the presets that I could get hold of, because the Kemper's got as many as you want. You can get anyone to kind of profile anything. What I did notice with the Kemper profiler as well is if I roll the gain down on my Helix on the amp block, it doesn't take all of the gain away. It reacts kind of like a gain knob would react on an amp. Whereas the Kemper just took it completely clean. So it's like it's emulating all of the little sections separately. And when you put no gain in, it basically just cleans the whole EQ block up. Now, I don't know whether I like that or not, because that's not really natural. But it leads to some really kind of cool, unique kind of tones. Another thing the Kemper can't do, unfortunately, is dual amp. Unless you've emulated 2 amps in a block, you can't load 2 amp signals in at the same time, which could be a problem for some people, or not if you're a one tone kind of guy. As well, every single thing you've heard has just been through my workhorse Ibanez Custom. So all of the, and pretty much I've been running second pickup. I'll spray that again, which is a single coil front, or I've been running the bridge. So that's it. That's all you've been hearing, really. So the next thing we're going to do is just going to go through the effects blocks and just, again, as they come. There was a few effects blocks missing in the Kemper. So it didn't have a spring reverb, for example. But obviously, if you go on the community forums, I'm sure you'll be able to download them or whatever. And that's what I love about both of these products. There's a great community for both, which is a cool thing, man, because you don't be left on your own. So let's have a look at those. So we're going to start with the reverbs. So again, first the Kemper reverb, which is a hall reverb, and then into the Helix reverb. So again, pretty good. And what I've done is all of the editing has been done on the Helix. So I've, because the Helix, it seems to just be a little bit bigger with the effects straight out the block. It just seems to have a little bit more level, a bit more mix. I think it's there just to give you a flavour of what it is. Whereas on the Kemper, because it's not really built in an effect, it's just in there. I basically took that with what you get, and then I used the Helix as my editing one to get as close to, or use the same effect at a similar level on the Helix profile or patch. So the next thing we're going to go into now is delay. So this is delay on the Kemper, and this is just it's called tap delay on the Kemper, and it's multi-tap on the Helix. So this is how those two guys sound. cool. So again, I find it. I think the effects are a little bit better on the Helix, but you know what? They're usable on the Kemper, man. They're not bad. And let's have a look now at the chorus block, and they both called chorus, so I used them. Sweet ambient tones. Next thing we're going to do is put a tube screamer in front of it. Now it was called tube screamer on the Kemper. It's called what is it called on the? It's called a Scream 808 on the Helix. So threw them in. Again, married them up a little bit because the gain just seemed to be a bit more prevalent in the Kemper version. And I don't know where it's good. It modelled off a different pedal. But this is also the thing you're going to get with comparison videos like this. The Kemper's modelling completely different. It's modelling an amp, whereas the Helix is modelled a different amp, and different horses for different courses. Amp's the same amp made in the same factory on the same day. Can kind of sound different. Right, guys, finally we're at the end of our journey. which has been fun. I tell you what, I've got a great appreciation for how good the Helix is, considering the Kemper is. It's as close to an amp as I've heard. It is very, very good. But the Helix keeps up with it, in my opinion. The Helix is as good. It sounds as good. In the room, it feels like an amp. It's powerful. And that's just a testament to the Helix, I suppose. But man, you can't knock these two products. They're just absolutely boss. It's the future. We are in the future. So the next test was the roll volume down test. So it's like 250, 150s on. Not two, but one on the Helix, one on the Kemper. And I just roll me volume control down on my bridge pickup just to see what that cleanup does. Because on some software, the cleanup doesn't kind of work. It gets a bit choppy and a bit like kind of noise gated. Whereas these two didn't do that, and they sounded pretty close. But have a look and see what you think won out. Or what's better in your opinion. Remember, guys, there's no winners or losers, because you will love something and I will love something, and it's win for me and it will lose for you. It doesn't really matter. It's just kind of fun and giggles. So that's it, man. So that was it. Let's hear that last kind of dropout thing, and that will be it. Right, peeps, so that was it. We have played the J Custom, which I love as well. I'll have to do a demo of this at some point because it is so nice. We played the J Custom through a Kemper and through the Helix, through exactly the same XLR cables, into exactly the same audio interface, of which is a really old cheap one. It's just one I use on a daily basis, just for studio stuff. So this could sound completely well better through other rig. Through a cheap audio interface into Logic. No post EQ, no faffing about, just literally the patches as they are with whatever editing I've done on the patch. Now the Kemper, just to keep things level, the interface isn't as easy to use as the Helix, so I didn't faff about with it. Whatever I got from that is whatever I recorded, and then I tried to emulate or match that with the Helix profiles or Helix patches. I'm going to get hold of some additional IR impulse responses for cabinets and see how they marry up as well later on, but it's done a great job as far as I'm concerned. I could kind of get it almost exactly the same, if not a little bit better, in my opinion. A bit fatter, a bit fuller. But you guys might think differently. So they're the tests. Let's see what happens next. So guys, we'll see you in the next one. And if I don't see you before, have a belting Christmas. And remember guys, don't just stop here. Go and watch other videos about helixes and Kempers. Have half an hour on YouTube for a giggle. Thanks for watching the whole video. It's great to see you. We're hopefully going to get better and grow with you guys. Hope you enjoyed the series so far. Comments, subscribe and all that good stuff. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace and love.